5th, 2025 meeting of the Newmarket School Board to order. And as always, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I gotta get up.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, first up on our agenda this evening is public comment. If any members of the public are present and want to comment on something on our agenda, please come to the microphone. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment at 5:16. Public correspondence. The board did receive a nice email from Donna McKenzie, who is a retiree that we're honoring this evening. We appreciate her reaching out. It was a very nice email. Did anybody else receive any correspondence? Nope. All right, thank you. Committee updates. What committees have met over the past couple of weeks?
So Lonnie and I had our last official board meeting, board member meeting for the Teacher Growth and Evaluation Committee. Wonderful working with them. They still have some meetings left to finalize what they're working on, their presentation to the faculty. It was a great experience. I really appreciate them inviting us in and letting us join the conversation. It was really eye-opening. It was a wonderful experience. So.
And I think it speaks really highly of all the staff involved, that the work maybe could have been done, yet they're electing to continue to meet to make sure that it's done correctly and that it reaches the goals intended for this growth and evaluation plan that will be for the teachers by them. So it was just, the people involved are just so invested, and it's really nice to see as an outsider.
Thank you. Can I just check real quick, Hillary, are you able to hear Lonnie clearly?
Oh, I can repeat it. Is that better? Can you hear me now? I was just saying that I felt that the work probably could have been done a few meetings ago. It could have been finished, but this group really elected to continue to meet as teachers to make sure it was done not only correctly, but that it really fit the goal that they had set for making it a plan that really focused on teachers, what they wanted, showed their growth, and to make it their own, because it's really for them. That was just really impressive of how invested all the people involved were.
Thank you. Other school board committees, or actually board member comments as well? Anything?
Well, we went to the Seacoast School of Technology certification last week. I was very impressed. First time I'd been over there. All of the certification holders were duly recognized, and it's a good program, it seems. And I also went to the Wax Museum, and it brought me back to my 4th grade days. It was great to be in the school in the element, and I want to commend the teachers on that too. So,
and the Wax Museum as well, and it was always impressive to see. There's a line out the door. There's a line to get in. There's a line out the door to go through. Community members and families are taking the time to ask students questions, so that they can share what they've been working on. And my son in particular was just really excited about how many people he didn't know have been asking about Albert Einstein. So.
And I would have been one of them.
It's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is not a school board committee, but I do want to throw out for the benefit of the public. The Charter Commission is holding their public hearing on the evening of June the 10th. That will be either in the Town Hall auditorium or in council chambers at 7 p.m. on the 10th. So if you'd like to have any comments to offer the commission on where you'd like to see the town charter go, or just want to hear what other folks have to say, that's the evening to come out and hear and be heard.
I do have a board comment as well. And
Okay.
this is going to blur my role as parent and school board member, so if you'll bear with me a little bit. I have a senior who's obviously graduating tomorrow in 24 hours and 40 minutes. And I've just been blown away by what Newmarket does for their seniors. So I've listed some of the things, and I'm sure I've forgotten many, but for Mr. Neary and Ms. McGilvery have been class advisors with them since the 9th grade. So can you imagine being with the same group of kids for 4 years? They have a top 10 luncheon that the board and the administration take the students out, the top 10 to a luncheon. I believe we went to Hampton. There is a full week of graduation practices every morning at 7:45 that the kids have been going to. In addition to that, they have cap decorating opportunities for the kids. They had a Cookie Monster ice cream truck. There was a senior banquet. There was senior athletic awards. There was a senior outing, a senior walkthrough at the elementary school, and breakfast with the elementary school teachers. It's a senior awards night, which is tonight at 6 p.m. Shout out. There's also, they, in 9th grade, have the kids write a future letter to themselves. I lose things that I did this morning. So how they managed to keep letters for 4 years, I have no idea. But my son just got his letter and read it, and it's just the amount of things is just crazy. And this is on top of the everyday work that the administration and the teachers and the paras do, running the school, getting graduation stuff done, getting signing, getting diplomas signed, getting set for graduation. And it really has been crazy. They've also have a process where they ensure every single graduate has sign-offs from every single teacher that they've met everything so that there's no confusion. In addition to that, the community, a bunch of parent volunteers do Project Graduation, which provides a safe place for the kids to go after graduation. They're until like 2:30 in the morning. In addition to that, the town or the parents have put up banners downtown. They've created personalized yard signs for every single graduate and delivered them. It's just the amount of things. Like, I had no idea, having been on this board for 5 years, I had no idea the amount of things that this school does for their seniors, and it's just amazing. So just kudos to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other board comments before we move on? All right, thank you, everybody. Let's move on with a touch of sadness to Olivia's last student representative report.
Yeah, I don't have an agenda tonight, but this is important, I guess. So I'm pleased to introduce you to Sawyer Hill, who will be taking over as a school board representative for the 2025-26 school year. Sawyer is finishing up his junior year and has been actively involved in many activities during his years at Newmarket High School. He is a 3-season runner, competing in cross country, indoor and outdoor track. And since his freshman year, Sawyer has been involved in Net Zero, Interact Club, SALT, and National Honor Society. Sawyer has held leadership roles in all of these clubs and is planning to study political science in college. He is looking forward to being the school board rep because he wants to become more involved in the school community and be the voice of the student body. That's it.
Thank
Welcome.
You. Thank you.
Welcome, Sawyer.
And Olivia, we really appreciate all the time that you put into this, all the late evenings. Thank you so much.
Taking a placard, I want to be clear.
Noted.
And good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck next year, and Sawyer, we'll see you in the fall. I mean, unless you want to come hang out with us in the summer.
You're welcome to join us. All our summer meetings are here in the air
In
conditioned
Aiken.
library, so if there's ever a time you want to join us, you're welcome. But yeah, your term would officially begin with the first meeting in the fall. So,
Um,
Always have to get next.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Olivia, thank you so much. You've been a great
thank you.
representative. I really appreciate everything you've done.
You feel up
Oh.
to follow that?
Oh, well, farewell.
Olivia.
Farewell.
Olivia? We neglected to put the card actually in there.
That should have been in there.
Yeah.
So I'll try to follow that. I do want, just on the theme of just wonderful events, Patty Wands and I were over at the elementary school this afternoon for the second grade learning showcase, I believe it was. It was this wonderful thing, but again, it was one of those things, I stood there and it was like a clown car of parents coming into the school. Every kid had a parent. It was just, it's so wonderful to see the parent involvement. And that was at 2:00 in the afternoon. So it wasn't like, people had to get out of work to come, and it was really great. Obviously, there's lots of great things. We've highlighted many of the great things going on, and graduation tomorrow night is really the marquee event of the school district. So really excited and looking forward to that. Also next week, there's like 5th grade graduation, 8th grade graduation, a lot of really cool stuff. So Newmarket really does well by its kids transitioning to different levels. So thank you to everybody for that. I also wanted to just, for the board's edification, we are in a great place with hiring at this point. We have no openings to fill in the district, which is a highly unusual place for us to be. I probably said that, it's cursed us, but nonetheless, we're in a really good place. So I'm very excited about that. I promised Jana I would kind of front load you with some key decisions that need to be made at the next meeting, just so you are thinking about these things. And all the information about these have been provided to you in past meetings. So I'm just going to run through, just be thinking about these things. You will be asked to vote on the retained fund balance at the next meeting to determine what you want that to be. Remember, it's currently 3.5%, but if you want to go higher than that, you'll be asked to make that decision. You'll be asked to make some decisions about what to do about the health cost variance. There was some conversation about what to do with the balance at the end of this year, but be ready to talk about that and make that decision. Also, you'll be asked to vote on what to do about the food debt balance. And typically, all we do is we write it off because we have to, but you'll be ready to make that decision. You will also be asked to set the budget goal for the administration. That does not mean it locks you into anything, but it gives the administration some guidance in terms of what we need to do over the summer to begin to prepare for it. So please come prepared for that. And then there'll be a couple of other things that will be decisions that are there. We need your approval on the employee handbook. We have our employee handbook review committee. You approved it last year. There are very minor changes likely to come, but in order for have it to ready for employees in the fall, it would be great to get the green light to go forward with the employee handbook. And then the other thing that Jana will be sharing with you is the joint loss management has a safety plan that they have to get approved every year, and that will be shared with you. And all of those things will be in the backup for the meeting prior to it. But I just wanted to, because it's late in June, there are just certain decisions that have to be made at the end of the fiscal year, okay? So I promised Jana I'd remind you of all those things and just kind of prime the pump, if you will, for you to be thinking about that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is, and I think we're all grateful we're here tonight in the air-conditioned library media center, but reminder, all of our summer meetings are here for that exact reason, because it is very warm out. And so until August 21st anyway, all of our meetings are in this place. Okay, other than that, that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Just if it's possible, I guess, if any of those materials that we haven't seen already, if Jana could send them out in advance of when the packet goes out, it gives everybody a chance to spread their reading out a little bit.
The two things you haven't seen yet will be whatever revisions to the employee handbook, and that committee is meeting next week, and as soon as we have them, we'll give them to you. And then the safety plan has been approved, has been developed, and that can be shared with you. So you'll have all that. Everything else is in financial reports that Jana has given you about the various topics. Okay?
All right. Any questions for Todd before we move on? All right, thank you. Without further ado, sporting his clean-shaven new spring look, I'd ask Sean Pine to come up and introduce the elementary school student ambassadors.
Thank you very much. We're very excited to have our student ambassadors here to speak about what's going on at the elementary school. Kudos to Jen Boston, who I'm going to turn the mic over to in a moment. She's been running this program for 2 years now, and the amount of involvement of the students in this program has continued to grow and really represents our school well. Thank you for taking that on, Jen. So without further ado.
Hi. Hi. Like I said, I'm Jen Boston. I teach 5th grade. I get to work with, actually, I've gotten to work with every single one of them in class, so that's wonderful. I'm going to really let them do all the talking. So, Alex, is his name?
You could probably just,
Or just tip it.
Okay.
Put it down.
And Alex is going to talk to you guys about our endangered species project that's coming Wednesday. Or no, yeah, Wednesday, June 11th.
So, we're doing like this project where we study an endangered animal. I'm doing the beluga whale, and we have to like write about it and spread awareness for helping it. And first, we do our biological hierarchy. It's like where they live and like their ecosystem, all of that stuff. Then there's the food chain. I think you know already what that is. It's what the animals eat. It's like how the ecosystem functions. Like, sun produces grass. Something eats grass. Something eats something that eats grass. Yeah, basically all that. Yeah. Then there's the energy pyramid. You basically show where certain things get energy from, kind of like the food chain, but it's like there's a lot more things on it.
So
And
I
then
assume
we-
belugas don't eat grass. What do belugas eat?
Belugas eat squid. Squid eats seagrass.
Oh, so it is grass. I was wrong. Thank you very much.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you guys are also, once you figured out what's going on, what else?
Once we figure out what's going on, we write a paragraph discussing how we can like fix this whole problem. How we can prevent endangerment. And then we put it all on a poster board and present it.
Sounds great.
Nice.
Wednesday at 2:40 in front of the
Fantastic. Look forward to checking it out.
Great.
Thank you.
What? Zumi, you can come up. You guys, I want to come up and shake your number. And Lumi's going to be talking to us about our Camp Lincoln trip. Field trip.
So, in physical education class, we had a field trip that I think the money was raised by Spaghetti Supper.
Yep, a lot of it was great.
Yeah, so we had a field trip to this camp called Camp Lincoln, and it was really fun, and we got to do lots of activities like kayaking and archery and things like that, and field activities like field games, and we got to learn things about nature and just really had lots of fun, and it was really fun with all the other kids, and it was great. My favorite was probably kayaking, and I assume that for most of the other kids because that's what they said, and it was very fun because we got to play in the water and we got to learn how to kayak, and it was very fun. So yeah.
Where's Camp Lincoln?
I don't know.
I believe it's in Kingston.
In Kingston.
I used to bring my 6th graders there back when I was a teacher.
And is it one day or?
We did it in 4th grade, and so the 4th and 5th graders go, but they go at different days. And in 4th grade, it was pretty fun too, but I feel like it was a lot funner in 5th grade because, we have different, like, the kids are mixed up, like, when they change grades into different classes. So we got to hang out with different kids than the last year, and it was mostly the same activities, but it was very fun and easy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's not
Just the one
overnight. Yeah, just one day.
Yep.
Just one school day.
I think the rec center has kayaks.
Yeah, they
You might be
do.
able
I
to talk
think.
your family into that. There's also, where's the park? Can we think of the park by the thrift shop? Up on the way out of town.
I know the one you're talking about. Schrottmeyer?
Schottmeyer, yeah, they have a launch, and I think they might have free loaner kayaks.
Don't know, but
Yeah.
that sounds cool.
Be a good place to check out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Sloan, and she's going to talk to us about the Memorial Day assembly that we had.
So in 5th grade, we did this like form. So our music teacher, she's our music and band and chorus teacher. She, like put this form out that 5th graders could like sign up for to do an assembly for Memorial Day. And, it was run by the 5th graders, like the whole assembly, like was run by the 5th graders, like the slideshow was made by them and everything. And lots, like most of the 5th grade was involved, and there was the band played and the chorus sang the Star Spangled Banner. And also some of the 5th graders got to write poems. Like I got to write a poem about like Memorial Day and fallen soldiers and stuff. And it was very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there. It was a very powerful assembly. Especially when the whole student body sang that the song that Ms. Early wrote, which was just it was just very touching, very touching.
And I was so impressed with their poetry. I didn't know they were doing it, and
Yeah.
they did it all in those poems. I thought they had memorized them from an actual poem, but you guys wrote them all. It was awesome.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank-
How did you find the time to, as 5th graders, to put all of this together? I imagine it took quite some time for you to.
Well, the people who made the slideshow, they had, so like the whole people, all the 5th graders who were doing the assembly had 3 practices with Miss Early, and like 3 like run-throughs of the assembly, and the like people who made the slideshow had extra practices to make the slideshow.
I think a couple of years a few after one day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Miss Early is amazing. So.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys wrote poems. I wrote poems. Yeah, I think the book. Did you guys do that? Oh, I thought you did. Okay, a couple. But there was probably like 6 of you that wrote poems. Yeah, that's really awesome. All right, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And next we have Abby, and she's going to come and talk to us about the upcoming field day. And maybe fun run if we have time.
So there is on Monday, there is this thing that we do every year called Field Day, and it's where you get to do a lot of activities at the rec center and personally, my favorite is the splash pad because you get to get really wet and messy with water, and like I like to get wet and messy. So, yeah, that's my favorite. And then we kind of, I guess, celebrate the teachers and we give them flowers, or some of them, and it's kind of to let the teachers know that they did a great job teaching, and you get to do athletic activities, wet activities, and then I think, oh yeah, face painting and freeze pops. You get first, our 5th grade is gonna do freeze pops first, and then they get to eat the freeze pop if they want to get freeze pops while they're getting their face painted if they want to, and it's a really fun experience, and you get to have a lot of fun, and it kind of brings the whole school together and with fun activities that you get to kind of celebrate the end of the school year.
Cool. That's great.
Cool.
And you guys do a lot of practice in the PE class, right?
Yeah.
So all the games they get to practice ahead of time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they can get right into them.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Great.
I'm curious if there are any events where like a teacher or a school board member gets wet in any way? Thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think a grade that goes on a splash pad, I think they get to like maybe pick a teacher or no. I wish.
That's a great idea.
That's a recommendation for next year. Next year. Yeah.
I know there's that little
You could be like Chapman with the. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very fun and
Do you know how many volunteers? I thought it's over 100.
Yes, you're right. Over 100 volunteers. Nancy Miller, our PE teacher extraordinaire, she has this down to a science and is really responsible for getting this all together. I can't say her praises enough for what she does in the school. This is a really great end of the year activity that pulls the whole school together to kind of celebrate the closing of school and moving into summer. So we're looking forward to it on Monday. Come on down.
I'll get for our SALT students. The students for SALT at the high school, they're volunteers. This is the second year that the high school students come down and volunteer with each of the groups. It's really nice.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's give Emmeline. She is going to come and talk to us about something that started this year called the UA Helpers, which for UA for Unified Arts.
UA Helpers is when the fifth graders go down to, I think it was first grade this year, and I helped out with music. I know some of you guys.
Actually, every single one of you were UA helpers. No, I wasn't. Oh, you were? Okay. But,
Yeah.
so they didn't have, you got to sign up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You could do it if you wanted to. You just go down there, usually at the end of the day, and we got to help I helped Miss Early set out stuff. I met people, and I probably made some friends. It's really fun because you also get to learn what they're doing. I know I had one song stuck in my head from it.
It's not Baby Shark, is it? That was-
No.
Does anyone else want to talk about their UA experience or UA helper experience? You want to come up? So this is new that the UA, the Unified Arts teachers put together, and hopefully we'll have a chance maybe to merge the two groups because it's all one and the same. So, but just it's another way to showcase these awesome kiddos.
So I got to help out with our computer teacher, Miss Bascom, and it was really fun, and you got to answer all the kids' questions, and it was really cool because you got to help out with all the things, and like Emmeline said, you got to learn what other grades are doing in specials or UA, and yeah, you got to answer all the questions, and yeah.
What grade did you help out?
First grade, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure all
first
of
grade.
them.
Oh, they're all first grade. Okay.
I'm sure the UA teachers really appreciate
They were just over the moon, just so thankful and impressed with how helpful they were. And I met the first graders. I know they are because we walked by the first grade for like just a movement break. We walked by outside and it's like they're like superstars. They're all like, they see them in the hall. So
That's wonderful.
It's pretty cool. It's a great
Wonderful.
way to get connected.
Well, thank you.
Besides it's
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
both for
you.
volunteering to do that.
Yes,
Probably meant
that's
a lot.
great. Thank you.
So all of you are in fifth grade, correct?
Yeah.
So what do you think of the building you're inheriting next year?
Mhm.
You like it? Good.
Parts of it are air conditioned, not all of it.
They'll need to hang out in the library. That's
Yep.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
All right. Sean, would you be able to say a few words about Donna McKenzie, who's...
And obviously, she isn't able to be here tonight, but you'll be honoring her at the staff gathering.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Donna was unable to attend tonight's meeting. She had previous engagement. I did a write-up here that I shared with the board, but it would like to read for the public in general. Donna McKenzie will be recognized Monday on the 16th at our breakfast that we're having for the closing of the year, and to recognize people who have contributed throughout the many years here at the Newmarket Elementary School. But Donna McKenzie had a remarkable career spanning over 30 years in public education, with 5 of those years here at Newmarket Elementary School, her last 5. Her journey began in Keene, where she spent 10 years as a 3rd and 4th grade teacher. She took on the role of elementary principal in Vermont and held that position for 15 years, which was really nice to come down and talk to her a little bit about the ins and outs of principalships of schools. She really enjoyed being a principal, but decided that she wanted to step down and work more closely with students. So eventually she returned to New Hampshire to be closer to her children, and she pursued an additional degree in special education. Where, while she returned to Keene, she served as a resource room teacher and later worked in Troy, New Hampshire as well, leading an autism program for elementary school students. Later in her journey, Donna moved to the Seacoast to support her son, and as he raised his own son. We've been incredibly fortunate to have Donna as part of the Newmarket Elementary School family for the final 5 years of her career. Her wisdom and compassion and unwavering commitment to doing what's best for children have made a lasting impact, even through the most challenging times, including our shared COVID adventures. As she enters her final chapter of her, the next chapter of her life, I don't want to say final chapter. Sorry, Donna.
It's not the end, Sean.
As she enters the next chapter of her life, she'll be deeply missed, but we wish her nothing but the happiness and fulfillment in the years ahead. Newmarket Elementary School Newmarket Elementary School will always hold a special place in her heart, and she will always hold a special place in ours. So Donna, thank you for your years of work with the kids. You'll be missed, but good luck.
All right,
If you want, we can talk about this down when we do the approval, so we don't.
Okay.
So we can just jump down.
all right. So, Todd, could you introduce our next speaker?
Yes, I would like to invite Becky Cole, the proud resident of this space that we're all so much enjoying. Becky, thank you for coming tonight to kind of give us an idea of the library programming at the junior senior high school.
Sure.
So, floor is yours.
But I do want to be mindful because I know that people want to get to the awards ceremony. I am offering to postpone this for another time. I don't mind because I know you said
Conditioned, so
Yes.
well, I just want to be, offer it up. So you can take a vote if you want. Okay. All right. And he did say 15 minutes, so I'm going to try to stick to that. My timer's on. Okay, Todd? All right, and I'm Becky Cole, and I'm here tonight because we don't have AC at my house, so I'm just going to present to you instead. So thanks for having me. I get to be in the space all the time. There's so much that goes on in this space. I get to see a lot of your children on a regular basis. I have constant contact with students and staff alike, so I just kind of wanted to give you a little taste of, a day in the life of me. I will share some of the instruction that I do across content levels. This year, I worked with Ms. McGilvery's 11th and 12th grade class to present information about our current administration wanted to defund the IMLS, which is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. So I just talked to her civics class and explained what it was and how it would impact the students. So everything from, the interlibrary loan system not being available anymore to Libby ebooks and audiobooks not being available. So I just thought that was pretty important for them to know and how they would be impacted. And then Ms. McGilvery offered some extra credit for anyone who wanted to write to their congressmen and women and House of Representatives. So I created a form that they could follow and then encourage them to write their more heartfelt feelings about what this would do and how they felt about it. So that was pretty great. I taught research skills and using databases for students to create progressive reformer movie posters in Mr. Groth's civics class. I taught a unit about cell phones and awareness about social media and all of the things that sort of are under that umbrella. So anything from, when you get a notification, how long does it take you to get back on track, back to your schoolwork and things like that. So neural pathways, algorithms, dopamine hits. When you see one cat video, how many more cat videos does it take to get that same, high? I need 10 more, I need 20 more. So that was really good and impactful, I think, for the ninth graders that I taught that to. I did library orientation with a breakout box activity for the sixth graders at the beginning of the year. I worked with Mr. Jacques' forensics class. I created a Bookit game, so a review game. So half the class took that and had a game of it, and then the other half, I gave them random fingerprint characteristics so that they had to build a actual fingerprint with defining features, and then the class, when they were finished their game, they would come and try to identify what these students made and vice versa. Then the students who made went and did the review game. So here they are, all engaged, making fingerprints. We have a database, advanced search tools, citations with Mr. Levitt's seventh grade class. They were working on their migration research paper. And I gave a lot of my information that I usually do to my intern who is studying also to become a librarian. So had her work with the seventh graders and was there for support for that. I worked with the Miss Swaljay's eighth graders doing more research. They had a debate paper to work on, so used the Exploring Gale opposing viewpoints database and worked with in-text citations, works cited page, really reinforcing good research skills with them as well. So just so you had some stats, from last May to this April, we had 6.2 thousand searches from just Gale. We have other databases as well, but you can see some active researchers in our school, which is great.
Can you explain to us what Gale is? I'm not familiar with that.
I'm sorry, Gale is one of the databases that we subscribe to, and Gale has many. They have a high school section, they have a middle school Gale resource. There's opposing viewpoints. There's U.S. history, world history, science. So it is something that our school subscribes to. We pay substantial money for it, so I'm glad our students are using it. And it's, a great skill to, use after college, after high school. Even if students don't go to college, like good researching at the library, like I want to research cars and go to Consumer Reports. How am I going to do that, right? So I just think it's really important for them. We have kind of the most searched for terms from the year. So I know that Mr. Marsh does a lot with ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, so I can tell that his students were really, really going hard on the research, and Mr. Durkee's drugs and athletes, they're his paper, so I can tell a lot about the searches.
Maybe people don't think about ancient Rome, everything.
I did a I sent out a form for students to tell me what you liked, disliked, want to change about the library, and got some quotes from them. So I don't particularly love it when people read quotes to me, but if you want to read it by yourself, or do you want me to do that for the benefit of people at home? I don't know.
Well, it's on the screen.
They can see it.
They can see
Okay.
it.
They can see it. Okay. So there you go, everybody. I will move on. There's lots of programming that I do. Poetry month, book tastings. I have writing contests or book band trivia. I give out prizes, things like that. Here are traditional book tastings. I do speed dating with a book, and I do book talks as well. I really try.
Many times we're in here for a meeting, the library will be set up this way, and
Yes.
this explains a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So each table has a different genre stacked with books, and students have a menu. They have a timer. They go from table to table, just trying out different genre, rating it, and then they can select some books that they want for SSR time in English. So
the writing that they're doing is not in the book, so it's rating the.
right, yes,
Okay, I see.
they're in the menu. They're not writing on the book. Clarification there. So we have poetry stations that students did, magnetic poetry, art, blackout poetry. So some of that. A picture is worth 1,000 words, so I'll kind of keep going here, especially since I only have 7 minutes. Okay. I got some new tablets for drawing. I got a puzzle table for students to use. It's become really popular. I try to give them what they want. So I thought Giant Jenga was going to be fun.
I saw those boxes piled up, and I'm like, what are they shipping? They're all empty. Now I understand.
Giant Jenga. And let me tell you, it was probably the best thing I did this year because everybody likes to play with it. Even the high school
Look at that.
students.
Oh, up in the chair.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Another favorite part of the library. So many different aspects of it that they appreciate and enjoy.
Plenty of outlets and extension cords.
That's important.
It is.
They need them for their
I wish I had that.
device, their phone.
Fridge is always available. That's funny.
So my position is interesting because I toggle between the high school schedule and the middle school schedule, which are completely different. So I try to accommodate everyone. So students come in during advisory, wellness, and WIN from the middle school. They do lots of different things here, and I will start showing you some pictures.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Is
go
it
ahead.
challenging to kind of juggle both schedules where you have?
It can
walk
be,
through-
yeah,
I
it can
imagine.
be, sure, yeah. So
And there's a change planned for next year that will make it a little less crazy, won't it? Or no, not in your world? Maybe a little bit? No? Okay, never mind.
you
Forget I
can
said that.
think that, Tom.
It'll be more consistently crazy.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
all right. All right, good.
So it's a good basis for crazy. So more middle school students enjoying during their time here. Lots of different things that they engage in. Oh, goodness, they're so fun. The students on the left, they built that game and they're playing it. The students in the middle, they love the Lego Mindstorms. They create all these different cool robotics. Beckett on the right is using a 3D doodler pen to create something. Another favorite part of the library. This is a student who wrote on one of the tablets. If you can't read it because the writing is the library is a place of sanctuary for me and many others. It's a place of quiet and focus along with relaxation. Students use the studio room. The middle picture is more fun because it's the ping pong championship. But also students use the green screen, the button maker, the 3D printer. Here is Emmy and Morgan, who created a newscast to explain about a current event that was happening. They created a whole video using the steam room as well, all the great materials that we have. Students are in there all the time creating things.
So where? I didn't even realize there was a steamer. Was that-
Right
right there.
Right
Yeah.
there. Nice.
How come we
So
don't have it
there's-
there?
We can. I mean,
There's snap circuits, there's robotics, there's all kinds of tools to keep it playing. And these seniors are super psyched to have made it to the ceiling.
Is that's not Jenga, is it?
It's not Jenga. No, that's a great question. It's just Kiva planks, and so they just had a goal and they met it. Look at the pride they have. It's
awesome.
So happy. Another favorite part of the library. I'll let you read it. We'll move on.
Very good.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Cleary, there are so many different presentations in here. Like Miss McGilvery does a Shark Tank activity. Miss Cleary does a lot of presentations here. Also Shark Tank, she did her 20% presentation. So students use 20% of their time to make a passion project, and a lot of them are to find solutions to different problems. Excuse me. So here they are presenting, and they have to, share and deliver, talk about their problems or challenges. You can see the screens researching, planning, setbacks and challenges, which I love. So she had steam carnivals to explain Newton's three laws of motion, some different carnival games, and Liam in the middle is very proud of all the loot he got from those games. Okay, I gotta go faster. Getting things done, socializing, and checking out books. Favorite part of the library. We have lots of clubs in here. We have the SALT group meets in here. We have a Lions group, and we also have Maker Club, which I co-facilitate with Tiffany Brand, the teacher who teaches computers. Okay, sorry. So here they are making stuff. They're very creative. We had wellness day in here. I had games and more of a self-care kind of place. We had aromatherapy, herbal tea, sound bath, massage chairs, watercolor, and meditation. So that was a hit. We had students enjoying puzzling, watercoloring. Those people in the massage chair room did not want me taking pictures of them. So I refrained. We also have a number of guest speakers here. Peter Nahani, this was from last year. He's a refugee from Sudan. He spoke to the then 7th graders who are now 8th graders. And Nicole St. James has organized for him to come in next week again to talk to the current 7th graders. So about his experience. If you've read The Lost Boys, he speaks about just being a refugee, being separated from his family, and it's very powerful and moving. We had biological anthropologists from UNH coming to talk to the forensics classes. So Mr. Jacques organized that. And we had our author visit. Are you all aware of our author visit? I think some of it was on the website, but Jay Kraszalska, who we have some of his graphic novels here, he came to visit. He did a whole school presentation. And then he did 2 breakout groups. So one of them was in here. He did our writing breakout group, and then he did our drawing breakout group in the cafeteria because it was so packed. So he did a really wonderful job. And if any of your kids were here for that, you should ask them about it because he was pretty moving. You were here for that, right, Todd? For some of it?
I popped in briefly.
Okay, yeah. So he did like a time-lapse video too I could share with you. It's really, really fun. So students just playing board games, and what I love about this picture is that they're having fun and there are no phones in sight. So another favorite part, my favorite part of the library this year was getting to read and check out so many amazing books fit to my style and preferred genres. I'm not a huge reader, but after this year, I think this showed me the fun and excitement in reading, the eager feeling to read and read to find out how the story ends. Thank you for showing me that. I love that one as a librarian. Yay. So just some stats. Oh, my timer's going awful. Okay. So time to read, happy readers, and even gadget loves the library. So I'm very proud of this space. I've done a lot to try to make sure it's a welcoming, supportive environment for everybody. And I'm I love our kids, and so I just wanted to share some of the things that they get to do in here.
Wonderful.
And if you want, I could talk more about the collection and what I've done with it, but I will spare you right now because I know time is ticking. So.
I just want to say, a good library is the nerve center of a school, and you clearly have created that kind of an environment here where all of the learning, or a lot of the learning, is coming through our Library Media Center, through the resources you provide, the opportunities you give, and it's exactly what we want. And particularly in a small school, you can't offer every course under the sun, but you can give kids opportunities to be exposed to lots of different experiences and information, and it's obvious from this that you do that. So thank you, Becky. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And I did want to take a moment. Every time we say gadget comes, we forget to mention Wayne. And Wayne.
Well, I didn't mention Wayne because Wayne doesn't like to come to the library. he would say he can't read. So. But we're kidding. We love Wayne too. So thank you so much. I really
that's
appreciate
awesome.
your time. Do you have
Wonderful.
any questions before I?
I'm just flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of things that happen here. Library or media center is not the right term for this place. I don't know what is.
I think nerve center is the.
Yeah.
is the-
I
Yeah.
had no idea. that
Yeah.
there's
There's
so
a
many.
hub. Yeah.
The hub.
You should call it the
A lot
hub.
of energy.
I had no idea that much occurred.
Oh.
It's amazing. Thank
Well,
you.
Yeah.
I'm glad then. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And thank you for sharing your children with me. I love them. So thank you.
How long do you think it's taken you to build all of this up over the years? Being new.
Yeah, this is my fourth year. So every year I had some goals to achieve. Like the first year I did the Lego walls, the STEAM to make sure they had some stuff, and the games, and then, puzzles, and then building out the collection because it was a very old collection.
Yeah.
And so updating it, making sure I genreified it, right? Like people would come in all the time, where's your romance section? Where's your sports section? And I'm like, good luck. We don't have a section. It's just author's last name, alphabetical. So I was like, okay, that's next. So there have been phases that each year that I've done. I still have more to go, trust me, but yeah.
Incredible.
So thanks.
I did, I'd say, and it's, I could point out 100 different things.
Yeah.
But the fact that kids have the opportunity to, if they might not know, they like to put together puzzles. Maybe that's not a thing that happens in their home. Or like board games that they just have never been exposed to. So I think it's, it's amazing. You go back to the one where you said they're playing a board game and no phones out. I think the more that students are exposed to things that maybe they don't get the opportunity to be exposed to outside of school, that gives them options to share with other friends. And, hey, I actually played this game and it was pretty fun. Or I didn't realize I liked to put together a puzzle. It's calming, it's soothing, better than going through my notifications at night when I'm trying to sleep, whatever.
I love the fact too that it kind of gives. I think every kid has kind of their space, and the fact that kids have that this is their space for them, it's available. Like, because I hate to stereotype, but my son would be in the gym, and that's kind of his space. And then I'm sure there's some kids hanging out cafeteria, but for kids who aren't into that, to have a space where they feel comfortable is amazing.
I don't think I've ever walked by the library that didn't have a large number of kids in here doing something. It's almost continuously busy. So one thing or another.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a lot of studying that goes on here too, but that's not a picture worth sharing.
Yeah, the learning happens. We know.
There's other things. So thank you all so very
Well,
much. I
thank
really
you.
appreciate your time.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
all
Thank
you
you.
do
Thanks
for
for
our district. We really appreciate it. So thanks.
Thanks. I always feel like I'm learning
the steam
things.
room next time. Is that?
Well, I was going to, when
Hey,
I was
you're
in
really
high
holding on
school,
to
the
that. Some of
steam
them
room
look
was
like
not a place you spent time on a 90-degree day.
Our steam room is air conditioned.
I know. It's
Now,
McIntyre.
was this all part of the building project when they redid the school,
yes and no. I think a lot of spaces got reallocated, and again, I'm speaking a little out of school. I wasn't part of that committee,
Yeah.
but I do think a lot of places got reorganized and reallocated when we were able to add space onto this side of the building. So I don't know that any of
like
that
the
was
steam
here.
room and the green room
Yeah, I
and all
don't think
that?
the layout
Was that
changed. I don't
purposeful?
recall.
No, I mean, these are cinder block walls. I can't believe they came in and did a lot of reorganizing, but I think the spaces
Probably the uses
themselves.
of them. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Right, I
utilization.
think because they expanded space, they were able to repurpose space, and it did create an opportunity that didn't exist before. And actually Becky came in just about the time that the building was being moved into. So she started that year.
Wow.
Just related to the
Incredible.
building, that I didn't think of it during board comments. The rec center, the rec had their dance recital for all their dance classes on Monday.
And that was here.
In there, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was at least double the crowd from last year, which was kind of crazy because it was 5 or 6, I think, classes only presenting. And my in-laws came, and when we were walking downhill afterwards, my kids were pointing out the banners, so just kind of pull it all together. And my mother-in-law said, you know, I really wish her daughter, who's just got married, would take a look at Newmarket. She's like, even just being in that school, that space is beautiful. She said, and then looking up around here, they do this for every, you know, senior. And so it definitely made my heart happy to just see, here's somebody who spent 40 minutes was how long it was. And she's just like, it's clear like how much is invested in this school, the building alone, but then seeing, you know, what you were saying about the way that the parents and families make sure that the community is able to recognize students too.
Yeah, and I mean, we'd be remiss also not to mention everything that went into that. I mean, I'm thinking about middle school was a hard time of your life. Going to school in a building project isn't easy. Pandemics are terrible, and this year's senior class and next year's senior class did all 3 things simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, definitely there was a lot of sacrifice and hard work that went into getting where we are. So
Well, it's paying off.
it is. All right, moving on to our policies. This is the second read.
It's first read.
First read, I'm sorry, for JJIB, the new policy on extracurricular, well, not new, sorry, this is an update to the policy on extracurricular activities. This is the one, just to give a little bit of history of how we got here. I believe we started talking about this because I'm a jerk.
I wasn't going to phrase it quite that way.
because I get weird obsessions and I can't let go of them. But then we moved on from there. We spent some time on it in policy committee last year, but I think the real frosting on this one, the crowning touch, was Jamie Hayes gave it to the SALT club to go through and look at and react to, and they actually gave us some really good feedback on how to augment and improve it. You know, I mean, the biggest, in addition to just some factual things like the actual standards and rules for participation are now a little different than what had been written into the policy before. There were also some things just, trying to capture the spirit of, extracurricular activities are something we want our students to do. We think they're a valuable part of the experience of going to school here, and trying to phrase the policy in such a way that really makes it clear that we as a board endorse and encourage these activities and students participating in them. So any comments, questions on the first read of this?
I was really impressed with some of the comments that Jamie put in from the students, and I was wondering, how many did you incorporate? What were kind of your thoughts about what you did incorporate or decided not to?
I don't think there was anything they gave us that we didn't incorporate after a fashion. Again, their comments were pretty focused, and it was certain, it wasn't even so much the substance, it was just certain phrasings that they reacted to and said, there's a better way to write this. And from Phil, in my perspective, and I won't speak for Jeff, we were struggling with how to word some of this, and they actually came through with some better ideas than anything we had.
Basically what we said to SALT was, take this and give us advice on how to make it align with the vision of a graduate. And so their green standards that they use for the SALT program, they've actually rewritten those standards to be in line with the vision of a graduate. And so they were trying to use some of the same language. And so that's basically what they directed us to do. And so we were able to incorporate that. And I know you also raised the issue. There was some phrasing that was a little too punitive, I guess you could say, that we moved away from.
Frankly, I feel like they're super positive focused. Like this is a, I don't even know, privilege for lack of a better word, but you know, something we have an opportunity to do, you know, there's no need to put in something about why it might be taken away, I guess. But there's this understanding that students who are participating want to be there and they're going to work hard to make sure that they keep up with the responsibility of being able to participate. I just thought it was had a very positive tone versus like, you know, if you want to stay, make sure that you do this and don't do that. Which I think that they eloquently pointed that out and made appropriate suggestions that didn't make it seem like, oh, well, anybody can just do anything and still participate. Like the responsibility piece still is evident.
Yeah, it's more proactive than I only have one spelling thing, and that was
probably the board, not the kids.
It says I can't find it now. Oh yeah, it's on the JJ1B, the first one. It says if you go down, to engage in activities for which they are passionate, is barring in mind. It's supposed to probably be bearing in mind.
I'll have to be honest, that would be me. I think I was the one that wrote that.
That certain activities. You don't have to tell us, Todd.
No, it's okay. It's called reflection learning. It's good.
So that was the only thing when I was reading through this. Is that supposed to be barring or bearing? So that was bearing in mind.
I distinctly remember us discussing that in the committee.
Really?
We were getting our phones out to the dictionary app going, is it B-E-A-R-I-G or B-A-R-I? And apparently we got it wrong. So.
Well, maybe I've got it wrong. Who knows?
And I'm going to double check. We're going to have it right for the second meeting, I promise.
Isn't that funny?
I think it is B-E-A-R-I.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'd be B-A-R-R-I-G.
I would echo that. I think that this lays out a really positive framework. It's a framework that still needs to be met, obviously, for participation, but it's not phrased to, I think, echo what you had said too. It's not phrased in a punitive way. Yeah. It's in a supportive way. We want this kind of participation for the people that want to participate in it because we know it builds them up. But beyond that, having student participation, the SALT team weigh in on this verbiage, I think makes it so much more close to heart for the students that would also be agreeing to go along with this. So
more ownership.
Right. I wanted to make sure that was pointed out too. I just feel like that's a really huge component of this that is important for the students.
I did notice, like, you brought up something last year that really made me reflect in that we don't want sports to be taken away from kids because they necessarily, aren't able to pass a class. And I noticed that we went from 4 to 5 courses. I checked the NHIA. I think it's still 4. Is there a reason we went to 5? I could be wrong.
Give me a second to look it up here.
Yeah, I think
Jamie weighed in on that in terms of.
I know we did try to align that with NHIAA. So, but maybe we missed it by 1.
I mean, I could be.
Let me double check that with
coming
Jamie.
Up, so I may be on the wrong page.
Because I remember Jamie was at the meeting. We asked him specifically about that and was trying to align it. So it's possible that's not correct.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me which. The NHIA isn't showing me which year they're returning, so it could be last year's.
Any other comments, questions?
Thank you again to the policy committee for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting year in that committee because of all of the changes coming through on Title IX and other things. But I guess I'll feel happy if we can pick 1 or 2 policies like this that aren't driven from on high or above and make a positive improvement to them. Next, policy EHB-R. This is, again, it's one of the -R policies that's more nuts and bolts rather than philosophical, but and this is data records retention, which is something that candidly the policy committee, we're just more or less acting on the input from our experts within the district to understand what best practice is or legal requirement is for how long you need to keep certain kinds of records and how you need to dispose of them after that. So
Just one of the points I would make is, and we talked about this at policy, there's an enormous amount of record keeping that goes on in a school district. And any opportunity you have to cull and reduce the amount of record you're retaining creates space. So we did run this by council. So there's been some changes in the law, and so you can see the things that are changed are specifically because we're not required to keep them as long as in the past. And there is an element of you don't want to keep records longer than you need to because they are private records, and we want to keep the things that we're required to do, but we don't want to hang on to things just because we have them. And so having a schedule that you cull your records and get rid of things appropriately is a really good thing. So this will allow us to do some culling of our records in a positive way.
I noticed that the internet logs has got a question mark on it. Oh, maybe we're not down there yet. EHBR. It's a list. It's the very bottom one. Yeah, internet logs.
Just take a look at
RSA 91-A, and you've got question marks. It's the very bottom of the
That's
chart.
because there's some pending legislation that we need to, but you're right, we will need to add that in.
Only because when I first took over as technology coordinator, the very first thing was the Exeter logs back in the day. If you remember that. It was like, okay.
yeah, this is part of the reason you put this in an R document is it's something you expect to be affected from Washington or Concord with some regularity. So
Being pedantic, see, the last revised date is May 1st, 2017. Prior revised dates are after the last revised dates, so we may want to correct that.
yeah, we'll touch that up.
Unless we went back in time and actually did it on this.
I'll have to
linear.
double check on that. But this would be an example of records we've kept from the past that were
Right.
before my time, but I will gladly look into that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Do we have any donations to acknowledge this meeting? All right. Action items. I'd accept a motion to approve the minutes from our May 22nd, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Kathy. Did anybody note anything in those minutes that requires editing?
No.
No, I didn't either, so thank you to Ellen for consistently doing a really good job putting these together. All those in favor? Aye. We're unanimous.
I'd move we accept the manifest for June 5th, 2025, totaling $571,366.75.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Gary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're unanimous. All right, we did push the discussion around the action item on a co-ed golf club down just in the interest of time. So Todd, if you'd give us a quick rundown of.
So basically what is, just to be clear on the process for starting a new program, forming a club, it could be the first step down the road of forming another interscholastic program. So it's important you understand that this is sort of the way the NHIA kind of maps out the process. If you want to start something new, you start with a club, you test it out, and then you just gradually build it over time. So what this proposal is a group of kids who have come to Jamie Hayes, interested in playing golf. They have, I think he said there's 6 or plus of them, both boys and girls. They have a person who's willing to be a coach. They have a location to play. They've kind of worked out all the details. So there's interest and would like to run a co-ed golf club in the fall. What it would mean to the district is we would have to pay some level of a stipend to the person to run the club. We believe we have money for stipends in the budget because there are some other programs that, like, for example, don't have a JV team. So there is money in the stipend budget. And then we would obviously be on the hook for any transportation to any events that they would be involved in and any registration fees to competitions. Jamie certainly recommends it, and so do I. It's an opportunity to for kids who wouldn't be otherwise engaged in a healthy activity in the fall to be doing it. But it is important as the board thinks about it to realize that it is a continuum, that certainly if it grows, the idea would be down the road, we would be potentially forming a varsity team or something like that.
How would we handle kids who are interested but just don't have the equipment? For the ability to get the equipment, that's probably a better way to phrase it.
Yeah, I think we would probably beg, borrow, plead, figure that out. I don't think we would be looking to prevent anybody. Jamie and certainly Randy Edgerly are both very creative people when it comes to that kind of stuff. In fact, Randy has lots of really strong connections at the golf club, so I have no doubt that he could help us out.
Yeah, I have very strong positive feelings. Just, with first tee program at elementary school, you get these kids, I think it's third, fourth, and fifth, or maybe even second, because my son's been doing it. Nancy Miller and teachers that participate to have kids go to the Rock and go to the Caddy Shack, and they could spend 3 or 4 years learning this skill to only then maybe not have the opportunity to keep going high school. So I think it's the same way when Gary mentioned about the kayaks that you can take out. So here we've provided the opportunity to learn a new skill and something that students might really enjoy. It's a shame to not be able to continue that.
And it should be noted that there used to be a golf team here up through the late 2010s, and I think it fizzled out just prior to the pandemic, and just was not able to make a comeback.
So would they be down at the Rock?
Yeah, I think that's the intention, is that they would, the individual members, they would get a discounted, whatever you call it, membership, so they could practice there and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have always really enjoyed watching the littlest ones in Nancy Miller's. It's like that's one of the purest forms of entropy that you will ever find in the world, is those little kids playing golf. All right, if any other discussion, I'd accept a motion to approve.
I was just going to ask, does Todd want to separately just give an update on the fall programs?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I can do it before you do. Yeah. So actually, Dan had asked me to just kind of check in with Jamie about staffing for fall. So currently, we have programs we already have coaches for: boys varsity soccer. We're running boys soccer varsity JV and a middle school team. We're running girls soccer varsity JV and a middle school team. We're running a cross country boys and girls program at both the varsity level and the middle school level. Obviously, we have the co-op football with Epping, which has a varsity and a JV team. And we have co-ed unified soccer, which is also a co-op. And obviously, if the board approves the golf club, we would have that. In terms of coaching positions that are still open, as of right now, we do not have a boys or a girls middle school soccer coach or a JV soccer coach. I was out at the ball field just a little while ago chatting with Jamie. We have a very strong lead on a middle school boys soccer coach and a JV boys soccer coach. So we have a strong lead on a middle school girls soccer coach, and a JV boys soccer coach. So we are very confident at the next meeting I'll be able to tell you about at least those two, and then really the one we really need to encourage somebody from the community to step up is the middle school boys soccer. We do not currently have a coach yet, but we're trying to find somebody.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
I move the board approve or authorize the creation of a co-ed golf club.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Lonnie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are unanimous. Lastly, so for the past, or I think basically as long as Todd has been here, the board has extended to Todd the authority to hire to fill existing defined positions in the summertime when we don't meet as often, and candidly at times we need to move quickly if there's a candidate available so that they don't wander off and accept a position someplace else. So I would seek a motion from the board to extend that authority to Todd again for this summer.
And I do want to remind you that what I said earlier, we have no openings right now, so it's not, right now, there are no positions that this would, but if a position came open, it would allow me to act on it.
It might be useful to list out the policies in the future, just for clarity, but yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. We added this to the agenda a bit late in the game, but we'll.
Or we can look a year ago and see what they
Yeah,
were.
we can certainly go over those and go over them at the next meeting, just for the public's benefit.
So moved.
Thank you, Gary.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are unanimous on that.
And just the standard practice has been Todd to update us at the next meeting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, and again, like I said, there are no positions open right now, so, yes, what would happen
Amazing.
if a position came open that we needed to hire?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Next meeting, I would come and tell you, here's what we've done.
Yes, and yeah, we would be remiss not to point out that's pretty incredible
Yeah.
to be going into the summer with no open positions that we're looking to fill, so
Very
we're
impressive.
doing something right.
Absolutely.
And we'll be starting parent negotiations.
Yes.
Oh, next week, right?
Exciting.
Splendid.
Do we need to have a preliminary kind of meeting?
The first session is a meet and greet, and then Dan and I spoke about the idea of having a non-meeting probably around the 26th meeting.
Yeah, which, again, for people watching at home, a non-meeting is something authorized by law, specifically when the board is setting goals for negotiations with collective bargaining units, so.
Or taking legal advice, one of the other.
Or taking legal advice, either one, but in this case, it's specific to negotiating collective bargaining. All right, anything else before we adjourn?
I'm trying to find something, so desperately.
Gary does not want to stand and sweat in the gym, too bad. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Thank you, Gary, for the enthusiasm. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.